Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy. This is my weekly reading where we talk all about what to expect out of the collective energy, the energy that impacts each and every one of us, and how we can make the most of it, right? Because this is how we create a magical life, is we understand what is happening and we learn how to work with the energy as it's happening. So that's completely what this video is about. I don't know if you guys could hear that. There was a car that was just like making a loud sound outside of my office. So that's interesting because when I always say that whenever a sound happens in the middle of a reading, that is like an exclamation point to what I just said. So use this energy. Utilize this energy to make the most of what you possibly can. And speaking of make the most of it, that's so what I feel like the energy that we're in now, the energy that we're moving into. So we're going to be talking about that. First, I want to just acknowledge, how's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling? We're still in this full moon in Gemini energy. Yesterday was the actual full moon. I'm filming this on Tuesday. Yesterday was the actual full moon, and I found myself having to filter out bullshit out of my head all day. So I noticed that I was like, these thoughts would come in, and there was this part of me, like they were almost so ridiculous that I was able to recognize them as bullshit. But I also was able to recognize, hey, you still have some work to do around your thoughts, around your thinking about how you're perceiving this situation, this experience, whatever, right? So I was kind of in this place of filtering out things that my brain was wanting to tell me, that my ego was wanting to tell me, that were very fear-based all day. But this is, again, where understanding energy can be really helpful, because I understood that what was happening and what is still happening in this energy is this opportunity for us to recognize the stories that we continue to tell ourselves and where we need to make adjustments, right? Where those stories are old stories and no longer apply or are no longer helpful to us. So recognize the stories that you're telling yourself. Recognize the stories that are coming up, and rather than just subscribing to them, can we take a step back and recognize, no, that one fits, that one works for me, and that one doesn't. You know, there needs to be some adjustments to that. What would I replace that with that would be a better belief, that would be a better story, that would be a better way of viewing that, so that I am creating from a better and a different energy? So I think here, especially at the beginning of the week, we're going to be doing a lot of that. I think that there's a lot of value in right now asking the angels for help. There's always a lot of value in that, right? But if we can, especially before we go to bed at night this week, I would do it every night if you possibly can. But especially if you're finding yourself really stuck in your head and really challenged with some of these things, or having difficulty moving out of some of these energies, just ask the angels to help you to move out of that energy, and also to support you and rearrange your thoughts overnight, so that every day we are waking up with a better mindset. Because I promise you, you will get that in some way, shape, or form. Whether you wake up just in a better mindset, or as your day progresses, you notice that you're having experiences that are helping to shape your perception, that are helping to change your perception. So ask and it's given, I promise. So keep asking and keep allowing this process. But the more that we ask for help, the more that we are supported on this journey, and it's really a win-win situation. This energy, what an expansive energy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's this opportunity here this week for, when I connected with it, I heard it's time to finish strong. It's time to give it a final push. And I think that this is going to be true throughout some of December as well, and not just this week. I think we're going to see that overlap of this energy, but I definitely am feeling that that's true. And that, by the way, is going to mean different things to different people. I think that it's us taking a look at what has my story been over the past month, over the past year? What has 2023 looked like? I think that 2023 has been a very challenging year for so many of us in so many different ways. So what has that looked like? And I have this month to finish strong. I have this month to close out the year in a way that can be really, really powerful. And so what does that look like? What steps do I need to take? What things do I need to do? How do I need to stretch myself a little bit more, push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more, challenge myself a little bit more? Where do I need to be more honest with myself? Where do I need to change my perception on something in a way that's going to support this last month out of the year? So I think a lot of the expansion that's happening in this energy is expansion of our vision for ourselves, expansion of our thoughts and our thinking, of our actions. So really paying attention to where it is that you're feeling called to expand. Because I see us as the co-authors for our lives, right? We're co-authoring this life and our destiny with God, or whatever that is that you call it. I call that God, but whatever you call that, we are the co-authors. And have you guys ever seen that quote? How does it go? Like, I trust the next chapter because I know the author. And so as we close out a chapter, whether that's the chapter of 2023, whether that's the chapter of a cycle that's coming to a close, how are you going to finish strong? Because yes, we want to invite our higher power into that and ask for things and pray for things. That's a huge part of this experience. And flow with things and let ourselves understand that it's not always going to go according to our plan. We're working with God's plan here too. As much as that's true, I also feel like there's a lot of opportunities here in this energy, especially in this week, to rewrite a better ending. I think if we were to write down the story of 2023, maybe that story feels hard, that story feels challenging. And so how do you want it to end? Do you want it to look the same as the rest of 2023? Or do you want to say, I finished strong in whatever way it is that you're feeling called to finish strong? To say the things that you need to say, to do the things that you need to do. I think that this is a really powerful time to communicate, to express, to maybe have those conversations that you've been thinking about having, but you haven't had. To have those conversations with yourself that you've been thinking about having, but you haven't had. Maybe there's some things that you haven't been willing to take a look at. How do we make the most of this time, the most of this week? We're in Sagittarius season, and I'm still feeling like it feels a little like slow moving here on the other side of this full moon, but I don't think this whole week is going to feel like that. I do feel like there's going to be this a sense of a little bit more drive and enthusiasm and excitement. And can we ride the wave of this? I'm feeling like specifically this week, there's going to be these opportunities for second chances on some things. So opportunities for second chances, recognizing where that's coming up. Maybe there's been a situation where something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to because of some decisions that you made, or just because of some circumstances, maybe because of some decisions that other people have made. So watch for that, because there's very much this energy here now where we might find ourselves having a chance to give it another shot, or maybe an opportunity came in and we didn't have the confidence in ourselves. We didn't have the belief in ourselves to take it when it came in. And now that's circling back around in some way, or we're feeling compelled to seek that out. And I would definitely say this is a great time to do that. As we get into mid-December, we're going back into Mercury retrograde. The energy is going to slow down. This is the time to push. This is the time to give it your all, definitely here in this energy. I think part of the work that we're doing this week is continuing to work on finding comfort in our own skin. This has been so much my journey in 2023, and I think a collective journey as well, because one of the words for the year was authenticity. And I think that there might be some challenges here this week, here in this energy, where we're feeling that pull to not honor our authentic self or who we are now, right? Because we aren't who we used to be. And so we might feel this pull to be the old version of us, or this obligation to be the old version of us. And this has been something that I've really been working on. You know, listen, I'm pretty weird. I'm into weird stuff. The life that I live is pretty unique, but I use that word weird with love, because it's something that I've really learned to embrace. And I've learned that not everyone is going to appreciate that about me, but isn't that okay? Because I have all of you guys here who love that about me, who appreciate that about me, and who understand that that's such a big part of who I am and what I came here to do, right? Not everybody connects with angels. Not everybody reads energy fields. Not everybody does this kind of work. And isn't that okay? Isn't that what makes me unique? So that's just been a big part of my journey, has been in leaning into honoring that and understanding that not everybody is coming with me into this next phase of things. And so learning to just let who wants to clear to go, right? They have free will too. And also allowing myself to let it be okay that when I need to step away, when I need to pull back, that's okay. So I say all of that to acknowledge just that I feel something's clicking in this week. It's like this new level of finding comfort in our own skin. But I think part of how we find comfort in our own skin is to unapologetically honor who the hell we are. I think that we're going to be tested with that this week, where you may find that people are judging you, or that people have something to say about you. And can we just let it be okay? You know, certainly when we hear things, we can look at that from a growth perspective and say, okay, maybe that's something I need to work on, or that's something that I want to work on. Absolutely, right? But also, can we just allow us to be us and honor who we are? And if other people's expectations or things that are being said, things that are happening are really asking for us to either not be ourselves or to not be accepted, then can we be the one who chooses to accept ourselves instead? I think that that's really powerful, and I think that that's going to be the call this week, and that might be uncomfortable. I think if we continue to work toward truly loving and honoring ourselves and what we have going on and where we're feeling called to live in purpose, you know, I think there might be questions about, like, what is the life that you're living? What is the path that you're living? Who do you think you are? That kind of stuff, right? Well, I'm me. And God wants to express through you exactly who you were created to be. And can we keep leaning into that? Can we keep leaning into the purpose that's wanting to be expressed through us? And that can look different, very different in different people. And if you're not sure what that is, that can be part of this conversation that we're having with God this week. Show me how I can be more purposeful. Show me how I can make my day more purposeful, make my life more purposeful. But I promise you, God never wants your purpose to be to sit there in other people's judgment of you and to feel frozen or stuck or less than or any of those things. That's not true at all. Trisha's saying that's exactly what she's been going through the past few days. Yeah, like we've been on a journey. But this is the expansion, right? This is us leaning into our authenticity. Guess what 2024's word is? Did I share this with you guys last week? The word for 2024 is alchemy. So we will be taking all of these experiences over the past year, over our lifetime, over the past several years. Taking all of that, and if we choose to, because there's always a choice, if we choose to, we will be creating something magical from that. Whether we help somebody else with it, whether we use it to be stronger, whether we use it to help us to tap into our strengths, our resources, these things that have been developed within us that we wouldn't have if we didn't go through the things that we went through. So there's going to be this energy of using those very things that have been hard, that have been challenging, that have been stretching us, that have been pushing us, and using that, turning it into something really magical. I love that. I'm very excited for that. I think that that's so incredibly beautiful. So I think that we start to get a glimpse this week as to like, how are we going to alchemize that? What's that going to look like? Are we going to have all the answers? Absolutely not. But we might start to get a feeling about that or a sense about that this week. And as we continue to just make the most of this time, I encourage you to stretch yourself a little bit more this week, to push yourself just a little bit more, like those tiny little ways that we might do that. I was it yesterday, listening to Ed Milet's podcast, and I love his book, The Power of One More, and he was really emphasizing this idea, and can we use this time that typically we would be caught up in, maybe wanting to spend more time enjoying life and all of that. So not that we don't want to be doing that, but can we also be stretching ourselves just a little bit more, right? I'm like definitely not bailing on the work that's left to be done through the end of the year. I'm focusing on it and really making sure that I'm giving it 10 extra minutes, I've been just trying to like tack on just a little bit extra right now so that I have that balance of enjoying the beauty of the season, but also continuing to push myself, continuing to grow and stretch, and to not call it in for the rest of the year. I want to make the most of it. And I really feel like specifically this week, that's what we're being called to do in whatever way you individually are being called to do it. Our choices that we have been making, I've been talking about choices for a while now. They continue to be important, but I think that they're now starting to solidify as we shift into things, as we shift into December, as we shift into the end of the year. And so continuing to make choices that really honor the life that we want to have, the person that we want to be, the best version of us as we want to be showing up. I also think that here in this week, our willingness to be vulnerable is really key. I think that that's going to be, like we talk about, like how do you want to rewrite the ending for this year, this cycle, whatever this is for you. I think that that vulnerability is truly, truly key. So being vulnerable enough to say what we need to say, to do what we need to do, to open our hearts, to be open to experiences, to be open to what's flowing into our experience, to be open to the journey, the prompts that we're getting for the actions that we're called to take. A lot of times when we're following our soul, that looks really scary. That looks really challenging. That it really is calling for us to leave our comfort zone and to be vulnerable as we're doing it, right? So to not leave our comfort zone with a suit of armor on, but to leave our comfort zone with our hearts open. I think that that's really important here in this energy. Make sure you guys say hi. If you are watching, we're going to pull some cards to help support the messages, see what else I missed, see what else is coming through. But how are you guys hanging in there in this energy? Are you feeling that expansion? Are you feeling the magic that's coming in? Are you noticing the magic? I think a lot of things have been developing, are developing. A lot of things are manifesting. A lot of rewards for the hard work that we've been doing. We've pulled that Nine of Swords a lot, or Nine of Wands a lot, that wounded warrior energy, but just that reward for our willingness to continue to get back up when we keep getting knocked down, right? It's beautiful. And maybe recognizing why we went through everything that we have been. Maybe we're starting to get some insights as to that right now. If you guys are watching this on my YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. If you're not subscribed already, helps to support the channel, and I so appreciate it. If you guys are looking for your own personal 2024 tarot reading, I am doing those right now. I have some of those still up. Grab those now if you want one, because they sell out. I make my way through a list. But I do the 2024 readings. They're my favorite readings to do. They're email readings, so you get to check back in with the recording anytime you want. People find it helpful to come back to it as we navigate through the rest of the year. Oh, you want one more? Okay. All right, we're going to do an extra card. Okay. Oh, I love this. Oh, I see. It makes sense. Okay. So much beauty in this energy. So, Sagittarius season, a lot of times I feel like that the fire, Sagittarius is a fire sign, right? So a lot of times I feel that energy of the fire. I think that we're going to be driven and pushed, but it also feels like slow, steady progress this week, okay? So this movement, there's movement, but also understanding that it's slow and steady, right? Slow and steady wins the race. We have a lot of pentacles here. So number one, wonderful energy for abundance and prosperity and money coming in, these kinds of things. So we have this Knight of Pentacles. This feels to me like something from the past circling back around is what it feels like. We're not in that Mercury retrograde energy, but I'm feeling that. So something from the past circling back around. This was something that you started a long time ago. So again, maybe that's that Nine of Wands energy, which we actually didn't pull here today. I'm surprised by that. But this willingness to stay the course, to get back up, to continue to do the thing. And through that journey, we have planted some really important seeds. This to me is some kind of a seed that we planted, something that we got started on that we're now seeing some kind of a reward on. This week has a lot of reward in it, a lot of value to it, a lot of return on our investment. But some of this investment isn't just happening this week. It's been happening. We've been working on ourselves. We've been doing a lot of work for a long time. So here we are. The next card, the Death card. There's been quite a transformation that we have been undergoing. And those of you who know me and who know my readings know that I don't read the Death card as an actual death, right? But it is about one cycle coming to a close and a shifting into a new. There's a transformation, there's a metamorphosis. And we've been dancing around this metamorphosis. Scorpio season, which we just left, is all about metamorphosis. It's all about the Death card and the transformation. And I feel like we're moving out of this energy and we're figuring out what's the ending of this phase going to look like. I get to choose. I get to decide, together with God, of course, but I get to decide. And so there's this journey into allowing things to close, into moving into something new, or allowing things to transform, right? Maybe there are still things that remain, but they're transformed in our lives. And I think that we maybe will see our transformation this week, how the people around us have maybe transformed. I think that we're going to see evidence of that. And frankly, the fruits of that labor, the fruits of the growth and the development that we've been doing. But we're not going to just rest on that and let that all come into us. We're also still focused on our learning, Page of Pentacles, our growth, our the seeds that we're planting for our future, right? So like there's a harvest, but there's a planting all at the same time. I think that we're more aware of where we want to be investing our efforts. And there's an excitement with this energy. The page has an excitement to it. It has a youthfulness to it. And I think that it was just last week that I was talking about that. And so can we lean into the dreamer within us a little bit and just say, let me just be led. Let me let this final push, this ending that I'm creating, can it be created from what feels good for me? What excites me? What is enjoyable to me? What what are these seeds that I'm wanting to plant, and letting ourselves dream a little bit bigger. Now, the Page of Pentacles is also practical, right? So what are the practical steps that I need to take to lean into this dream a little bit more, to lean into this vision a little bit more? What do I need to do? What are my divine assignments this week in order to have a strong finish for the year and this week? 5 of Cups. There's a healing that we're being called to continue to work on as well, right? There's this willingness to not focus on feeling bad for ourselves, right? Or identifying as the victim, right? And this is like that energy of picking ourselves up and choosing to move forward with our lives. Not staying in that old past energy anymore, that old past stuck energy that maybe we've been stuck in for a long time. And there's this willingness to plant new seeds, to shift into new energies, to maybe start a new business, a new learning, something like that. And so rather than focusing on the disappointments from the past, we're leaning into the excitement about the future. And I really feel this with this card. What is this going to look like, right? And have we been so focused on the past that we have forgotten to focus on our excitement in the present moment, but also where we're moving into the future? And I think that that's really beautiful. So we see here the planting of the seed. We see here the harvesting of the seed, but we also see here the growth of the seed. So we have these things that we have planted that are at different phases, right? We're planting new things. We're seeing things come to fruition. We're seeing things happening. And we're also watching some things grow, right? This is a little bit of progress. This is some progress. This is us taking a look at how far we have come, all the things we have done, and the growth that has happened along the journey. And hopefully feeling proud of that. Hopefully feeling good about that. Are we exactly where we want to be? No, but will we ever be? Probably not, right? Because we keep raising the bar. We keep changing the destination because that's how we're created, right? We're born and built to have desire, because that desire helps us to create and to manifest and develop and to continue to grow. We don't want to be at the end of our growth journey, because hopefully, we're always growing here on this planet while we're here on earth with the time that we have. So what are we creating? We have the 10 of Cups with the 3 of Wands. We are starting to see the vision of our happiness coming into our experience. I feel like I talked about opportunities for second chances, right? There's something here about we didn't get it right before, but we can get it right now. Or I didn't get this right before, but I can get it right now. And it's not that we did it wrong or that someone else did it wrong. It's not that. It's that we needed to experience that. We needed to grow through that and have that experience so that we could get to this place. Or otherwise, I don't think that we would have been here. So the struggle has made us stronger. The struggle has given us what it is that we need to now move forward with something, someone, some experience that we're having or about to have in a way that truly fulfills us, that truly makes us happy, that truly is the manifestation of what it is that we're looking for, because the manifestation wasn't ready yet before. And now it is. And I think that we're watching that develop and move in slow and steady, so that we are creating a strong finish for ourselves as we wrap up this year. So I hope that you're rewriting a beautiful ending for yourself. It doesn't have to look the way that maybe it's like all of the other challenges of 2023, right? A lot of beautiful moments too, right? But I think that when I talk about a rewrite, I'm talking about rewriting things in such a way that if you don't like the trajectory of where it's going, change it. And we have a beautiful opportunity to do that here this week and this month as we navigate the rest of 2024. If these messages resonate with you at all, please like this video, please share this video, please tag someone that you think would connect with these messages, needs to hear these messages. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the things, all of it helps to support these videos that I do, and I so appreciate it. I still do a happy dance every time I see a new YouTube subscriber, every time I see your comments. I love all of that stuff, and it just makes me feel like these messages are actually connecting with people and hopefully making a difference in your world. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. I'll see you soon with another video. Take care.